Ask Jeff episode number 2 is here, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's been a long time. I'm sorry, I've just been so busy with so many other things. I don't mean to neglect this series. But what we're going to do is we're going to reboot things a little bit and just start from scratch with episode 2 for this season. So I'm just going to answer some of the most popular questions right now that I've been receiving over the past months, actually, especially the past few weeks. Number one question I've been receiving is, when is Octopus Keyboard coming out? And ladies and gentlemen, honestly, I really don't know. I've spoken with the developer. He's given me the latest build, and he is still working on it, definitely. But there's just no ETA on when it will be available. So I apologize for that, but it's really out of my control. I don't know when it'll be available. But frankly, I just think it's worth the wait. If he's actively working on making it the best it can be, then just be patient and wait on it. It's coming, according to the developer. And I've actually tested out a recent build of Octopus Keyboard, and it is significantly better than the previous version. So just wait it out and you'll see it soon. The next question, should I upgrade to iOS 6 beta? If you're a developer, absolutely. If you're not a developer, then no. That's the company line. And I'll just leave it at that. But I think iOS 6 is pretty impressive. I mean, there's so many different features, as you've no doubt seen. You've heard from the keynote, you've seen in videos, etc. My favorite iOS features are definitely the new Maps app. Is pretty impressive how it has the turn-by-turn directions, 3D maps. 3D maps are kind of, I don't know, I don't really know how useful it actually is unless you're walking through a city. And unfortunately, there's no kind of functionality like that, like there was in Google Maps, like walking directions, etc. So it's really bare bones, but it is impressive. We see where Apple's going with this. Hopefully, they'll be able to flesh it out a little bit before it hits the release candidate. But at this point, it's the most impressive feature, but it's also the most disappointing, which is kind of weird because it's the most impressive because we see where Apple's going with this, but at the same time, you lose a lot of functionality that you have with Google Maps, such as Street View, such as alternate directions, such as the ability to have walking directions, the public transportation directions, and things of that nature. So you're losing a lot of functionality, but you're gaining a lot, hopefully, for the future. So we'll see how that goes. As far as what's my least favorite thing about iOS 6, I don't really know if I have a least favorite option or opinion. I mean, I think this is a massive upgrade over iOS 5. I think it is certainly something that everybody's going to want to upgrade to as soon as it's released. I don't really think there's any downside or negative aspects to it. I guess if I had to pick one negative aspect, it would be the Maps app, just because you lose a lot of functionality there that you had with Google Maps. Hopefully, Google will offer a download, or Apple will allow them to put their own Maps app back out there on the App Store. But we'll see. We'll see about that. Okay, so let's take a couple of phone calls now. First up is John. Let's hear it, John.
Jeff, my question is, love being jailbroke. Would not go back to not being jailbroke, but I consistently have issues that my phone freezes up, and it just seems like maybe I'm putting too much stuff on my phone. I guess that's my question. Is there too much you can put on your phone, and why do I seem to always be seizing up and having to take it back to Apple? I appreciate it if you could answer that. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, John, for leaving your question. Yes, absolutely. There is a limit to how much your iPhone or your iPad can take. You just kind of have to play it by ear. There's really no set, specification as to how many jailbreak tweaks or apps you can install on your device. You really just have to use your best judgment. My rule of thumb is this: I only install what I am absolutely sure I'm going to use and what I'm absolutely sure that I need on my device. Anything outside of that, I either install it and try it out for a while or uninstall it immediately. So if you stick to that basic rule of thumb, you should be okay. Another thing to keep in mind is theming. If you theme your iPhone using Winterboard or Dreamboard, that can also cause your device to slow down. Now, it's not a guarantee that it's just going to slow down your device when you install Winterboard, but if you're using a theme that takes up a lot of system resources, then it's a pretty good chance that's the cause of your slowdown. I like this. Let's take another question.
Jeff, I'm a big fan, and I was asking if you can like upgrade iPod 2G to iOS 5.
Unfortunately, you cannot upgrade to iOS 5. There's just no way to do so. And really, you probably wouldn't want iOS 5 on your iPod 2G anyway, because it would just be too slow to handle. Now, that being said, you could probably sell your iPod for, maybe even $50 online if you found a buyer for that. And then you could use that money towards purchasing an iPod 4th generation, or you may want to wait it out for this I guess, fall, when Apple will hopefully unveil the iPod 5th generation, the iPod Touch 5th generation. And then you could just save up for that. And the good news, it won't just have iOS 5, but you'll have iOS 6. So save up for that, and hopefully you'll be able to grab that this fall. Okay, let's take one more question.
Hey, Jeff. Every time I delete a jailbreak tweak and reinstall it, the settings are still there. Is there any way I can completely remove this data? I feel like there's all sorts of useless information floating around my device. Thanks.
You know what? That's actually a really, really good question. And there is a particular jailbreak tweak that I highly recommend that you download right now. It's called Springtomize 2. And inside that app, you'll notice a setting that allows you to delete all of the settings for the individual jailbreak tweaks that you install. Now, you could go use iFile and go in there manually and delete all the plist files, all the settings files for those individual tweaks, or you could just use Springtomize 2 as a nice GUI interface where you can go in and swipe and delete all the settings that you want to get rid of for those individual jailbreak tweaks. So highly recommend you check that out. Also, check out the walkthrough for Springtomize 2 where you'll see that as well. So hopefully all of this was helpful for you guys. I appreciate all the phone calls, the emails, the tweets, the text messages, whatever, however you guys choose to contact me. I listen to everything you send. I might not be able to reply to it right off the bat, but I do try to remember some of the good questions and try to get those on the air for you guys. So make sure if you have a question to either send me a tweet, I'm at Jeff Benjam, or send a tweet to at iDownloadBlog. I also look at those tweets as well. And also make sure you leave me a message on my voicemail, and then I will air that message online on this show if it's a good question. So you have multiple ways you can contact me. Of course, you can contact me via email, Jeff at iDownloadBlog as well. So this is the latest episode of Ask Jeff. I hope I was able to answer some questions. Hope this was entertaining for you guys, and I will be back. I promise it will not take 4 or 5 months to come back with the next episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, this is Jeff with iDownloadBlog.